A high-end store in Manhattan robbed in broad daylight.
Police releasing new video of 3 suspects wanted for stealing more than $50,000 worth of merchandise from the Gucci store in the meatpacking district.
How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about a gang of thieves robbing the Gucci store in New York City meatpacking district in broad daylight. Broad daylight. Now, there's so much I want to say before we get to the actual news clip in the video. There's a lot. The reason, in my humble opinion, and I think you would agree, the reason why this happened in broad daylight is because there's no fear of the authorities. What are you going to do to me? If you got a bunch of these migrants that can literally stomp police officers right in the middle of Times Square, New York City, and then get arrested and released with no bail, what are you going to do to me? They had to go on a nationwide manhunt to find these guys because, of course, when they were released, they left and went all the way out west. They caught them in Arizona. They might have been in California before that. So I don't respect the authorities because even if I do get arrested, even if I do get caught, I'm going to get a slap on the wrist at best. And by the time you get me, I'm going to already have sold my merchandise and I'm going to keep the money because it ain't going to be no bail. So what are you going to do? I'm not going to jail. I'm not going to have to pay anything. There's not going to be a penalty. So I'll do what I want to do. This is the reality of the no bail and bail reform, all these things. People who don't know any better think they're helping the poor people who just get caught up in the system. What's your girl AOC? Oh, he was just stealing bread to survive. Really what they're doing is giving leeway to these criminal armed gangs to go out here and do whatever they want to do with no consequences. It's as simple as that. Now, before I go any further, let's get to the news clip. If you want to see the clip in full without my commentary, link as always will be in the description. If you're on IG, visit the link in the bio, go to the corresponding article on the website. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
A high-end store in Manhattan robbed in broad daylight.
Police releasing new video of 3 suspects wanted for stealing more than $50,000 worth of merchandise from the Gucci store in the meatpacking district.
All right, Fox 5's Antoine Lewis shows us how this brazen act unfolded.
Look at these guys. I mean, they got masks on. At least they have masks and gloves on, trying to consider their identity a little bit. You go to Left Coast, California, when they go to the Walgreens and whatnot, they don't even bother putting masks on. For what? Why? Why do I need a mask? I can just go in here in my regular street clothes with my crack smoker clothes and take whatever I want to take, because even if I do get arrested, even if I do go to jail, they're not going to prosecute me if I steal below 1,000 US. Now, New York City, I'm not quite sure there's a threshold prosecution, but I do know that the whole zero bail thing is in effect for people that stomp police officers out. So why wouldn't it apply to them? But I'm getting triggered, so I digress.
The sign outside the door at the Gucci store in the meatpacking district says temporarily closed. Here's the reason why. Surveillance video shows 2 men and a woman whom police say burst into the store on West 14th Street just after 12 noon Monday. Authorities say the trio were masked, armed, and ordered everyone. Oh, wow. Do we see guns? Yeah, they got guns too. I ain't know all that. I thought it was just like a smash and grab. They got guns too. Monday.
My man right here got the pistol out. Wow.
Authorities say the trio were masked, armed, and ordered everyone on the ground. Inside were store employees at the time. None were injured.
So this was not just a smash and grab. This was an armed robbery of the Gucci store in broad daylight, New York City, meatpacking district.
Johnny Emmerman works a few doors down.
Surprising to me. It's the first time 2 years on this block that I've known anything happening here.
The NYPD says the trio robbed the store of designer luggage and other high-end merchandise and then took off, the value of which is believed to be in the tens of thousands of dollars.
It seems like it's happening more and more every day in the mall where everybody...
Now, my question is, how did they get away? Was it a vehicle waiting for them? If you have all this stuff, bulky stuff, luggage, where are you putting that at? Are you getting on the subway with that? Are you going to ride the train? How do you guys do in New York City? You going to park a vehicle right there in the middle of the street and wait for the robbery to happen, then load it up and go to your destination? How far can you really get? And you know what? Let's keep on going.
Everybody's there. They go, they rob, and they run.
You feel like you're safe because there's rich areas or rich people shopping in the area, but that doesn't mean it's necessarily safe. in my opinion.
Cameras were also running outside of the store where the thieves can be seen taking the stolen goods to a vehicle that police say was waiting nearby.
They're taking this sweet old time, man, just kind of gingerly walking like it ain't that like he's in the airport and his flight is not for another hour. He's not even in a rush. He's not even doing a little brisk airport walk when your flight about to take off. So they took their time to walk down the street with these items, broad daylight, masked on, armed, and there was a vehicle waiting for them.
Authorities have highlighted each suspect in this video, which shows them with merchandise in hand as New Yorkers and tourists pass right by.
Yeah, I mean, they are pretty brazen, and usually it just entails just what you said, a kind of mobile shoplifting, and just you're in and you're out. But when they're brandishing weapons, that takes it to a whole other level, I guess.
To that end, just last week, Governor Hochul announced a $45 million retail theft prevention initiative that includes funds for New York businesses to stave off robberies and shoplifting, which officials say has skyrocketed since the pandemic.
What kind of money can be given to a store to ward off robberies and shoplifting and things of this nature? What can that money do for these people? It's not a money problem. The problem is a lack of law enforcement being able to do their job effectively. Law enforcement can't look. You're defunding the police. You got fewer officers than there should be in a lot of these cities all over the nation. And then you don't have the appropriate things happening with the court system. Again, if you can stomp police officers out on videotape as illegal aliens and get arrested, get locked up, and released with no bail, then what will be the penalty for these people? That's why they're doing it. No amount of money is going to change that fact. You got to change the system and the way it operates in New York City. It's nothing that complicated.
The NYPD also released these very clear images of the trio that they are now looking for.
Well, she had no mask on. She was the most brazen one. No mask on, just regular bare face out here doing whatever she wants to do. Middle of the daytime, just stealing.
Police say the suspects left the store heading westbound on 14th Street, likely in the direction of the Lincoln Tunnel. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers. That number, 1-800-577-TIPS. From the Meatpacking District, Antoine.
That's what's happening out there in New York City. People robbing, not just burglarizing, not just stealing, not just shoplifting. Armed robbery, there's a difference. If you are a shoplifter, you just going into a store, you take something, put it in your pocket, put it on your person, carry it, and walk away, run away, whatever. Now, armed robbery, we're getting guns involved, we're getting weapons involved, tell everybody to get on the ground, and you're physically taking things that way. That's much different. That's a whole different. There's a lot of sentencing difference between shoplifting and armed robbery. But as I close, I want to say this. I can't really say I'm surprised. It's New York City, and these kind of things are going to happen because of this system. It's nothing else. I mean, you can give money to Gucci, money to some other little smaller stores to try and quote unquote ward off the criminals. But how is it going to, what kind of money can you can hire more security? What's that going to do? I mean, okay, let's say you have more security, right? And the security are able to catch these guys if they can put their hands on them without getting sued. They're able to catch them and prevent that whole thing from happening. Well, there's still going to be a charge, or at least it should be, because you were trying to get out the store. You were trying to shoplift. The security, all they can do is just stop the merchandise from leaving the actual premises. Now, if there's going to be any kind of court action against these people for the attempted shoplifting or the successful shoplifting, and they get out with no bail, and then if they do go to court, if they are convicted, they're given a slap on the wrist. That is a problem. Until you get actually serious about crime in a legal way, holding them accountable, holding them in jail when you got them on videotape, when you catching them red-handed, and until you start doing that, you're not going to see a decrease in these kind of crimes. You're going to see violent crime, property crime. You're going to see all that continue to rise and stay high. You know what the solution is? You got to do it. And if you don't want to do it, oh well. Expect more cases just like this all over the city and the state and other parts of the country where they behave the same way with the legal system. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And What say you? What's your take on what's happening here with New York City and the brazen 12 noon robbery, armed robbery, guns out of the Gucci store? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. I can't say I'm surprised. I mean, of course there's going to be escalation. When you normally see these stories, it's a smash and grab. People to get a bunch of stuff and they just run out the store. There's never no guns involved, really. I mean, someone may have a gun, but that's not really, it's not like stick them up. That's not what happens. It's not like a bank robbery. It's just smash and grab. This is an escalation because of the lack of any kind of consequence for the prior actions. Whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.